This is your class live recording for essay, The Neolithic Revolution. This is for our World History A kiddos. For writing this essay, the first thing I always recommend anytime you're writing an essay is to start with the thesis statement. And the way to do that, I recommend, is going back to the prompt and what the assignment is asking you to do. So this assignment is asking you to write an essay of 600 or more words that describes the political, economic, and social developments of the Neolithic Revolution and explains why this was such a revolution when it occurred. So your whole essay purpose is to discuss why do we call this a revolution. And in order to explain why we call this a revolution, you will discuss the political, economic, and social developments. So this prompt is broken down perfectly for a simple way to write a 5-paragraph essay. So I'm going to go over with you kind of an essay outline. Your essay should follow these parameters. We're going to write a 5-paragraph essay, which is easy, 600 words. I mean, that's 120 words per paragraph. So that should be pretty easy for you to get to. Your first paragraph should be your introductory paragraph. This is going to have maybe 3 or 4 sentences. It's short, it's sweet, and it should be pretty simple. You'll start with an introductory statement. Personally, when writing a historical essay, I like to start with background information. So you might talk about what was happening before the Neolithic Revolution, what was going on, and why we ended up in a revolution type thing. You'll state your main points, which again are the social, political, and economic changes, and your thesis, which again will discuss why we even call this a revolution. What about it was so revolutionary? And that's your intro paragraph. Remember, I am looking for paragraph formatting, so you do need to have these in paragraphs. Otherwise, I am going to kick it back to you and ask you to rewrite it. Then you will have 3 body paragraphs, so 3 separate paragraphs, and each paragraph will discuss one of your main points. So if you start with the social changes, your first paragraph will have a topic sentence that says something about the social changes. You'll cite some evidence to prove that there were social changes, and you'll explain your evidence. So if we're talking about social changes, we're going to talk about how there was a hierarchy established. There was government established, and that's going to be your evidence. Now you'll go on to explain this evidence and tie it back to your thesis by discussing how creating a political system or a hierarchy system changed the social setting of the Neolithic period. So topic sentence, evidence, explain your evidence, and always tie it back to your thesis. What about these changes was so revolutionary? And then repeat. I like to see at least 2 pieces of evidence for body paragraph. If you want to do more, that's fine. If you're getting evidence from a source other than your Odyssey-ware lessons, please just make a little note in parentheses after your evidence telling me where you got it. Wikipedia. Please don't use ask.com. But National Geographic, wherever it is that you're getting your evidence, so I've got an idea of where you're doing your research. If you don't cite your sources, I'm going to kick it back to you and ask you to fix that. And so that's how you're going to do your body paragraph. Topic sentence, evidence, explanation of evidence, tie back to thesis, evidence, explanation, tie back to thesis, and then transition into your next body paragraph. Again, you're doing social, political, and economic. So those are your 3 body paragraphs right there. It's all laid out for you pretty nicely. Then you'll have a concluding paragraph. This is the last paragraph you will write. You'll restate your thesis, you'll restate your main points, and have a nice little concluding sentence that's going to kind of tie a nice little bow around your whole essay. Think of your introductory paragraph and your concluding paragraph as kind of bookends. So they should be related somehow. Some students choose to kind of copy and paste their introductory paragraph at the end and rewrite it and have it be their conclusion, and that's fine. I've done it myself. So whatever method you want to use is fine, but it should be tied to your introductory paragraph. So if your concluding sentence should have something to do with your introductory sentence. And I have some final thoughts for you. When you're writing these essays, please do not say, in this essay I will, or today I will, or my essay. Avoid personal pronouns like they are the plague. No I's, no my's. No talking about this essay as if it is a person. An essay, oh, please just don't do it. Do reread. I always recommend to reread your essays out loud before you turn them in. I think it helps you catch any awkward grammar problems. It makes you slow down when you're reading it, because when you just kind of silent read it in your head, you auto-correct everything. But if you have to read it out loud, you tend to slow down and catch anything goofy. Don't assume your first draft is perfect. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but rarely is our first draft ever perfect. As someone who's rewritten many an essay, I understand it can be incredibly obnoxious to get something back after you've worked on it for a long time. But learning to revise and rewrite is one of the most crucial skills you'll learn in school. And before you turn in your essay, ask yourself, do I show that I know what I'm talking about? If you have to stop and think about it, the answer is no. You need to revise and rewrite. Ask for help. I'm more than willing to give notes and thoughts about your essay before you turn it in as a final draft. That's fine. But you need to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. So if you're vague, you're not demonstrating that you know what you talk about. Be specific and clear. If you're going to say there were economic changes, be clear and specific. They started farming and understanding how to irrigate. That's clear and specific, showing economic change. So remember those things, that your essay needs to prove that you understand. If it doesn't prove that you understand, then you haven't fulfilled the assignment. So there you go. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you in class.